So we have the Bandai Tamashii Nations S.H.Figuarts Zarbon True Power version. This is a web exclusive, and he comes in this very big box, as you can see here. Although there's a lot of empty space in there, as you can see. There's some controversy surrounding this figure release, and we'll take a look at that in a second, exactly why that is. But the empty space in here kind of contributes to that. I mean, look, you can just kind of see the size of him, right? And all that space that's just not utilized. So it's kind of weird that they put him in such a big box when he's not that big of a figure, you know, as a whole. But anyways, before we get into all that drama, let's take a look at the package. It looks really good. Here's the side. Of course, this is just our typical packaging design. Here's the back side right there with some different poses. He's got some very nice animated face sculpts, so I'm really looking forward to that. Let's take a look at what he comes with. All right, so this Zarbon stands at just under 7 inches tall. I mean, he's about 6.5 inches tall. Not a very big figure. He's just a standard size. And a lot of it has to do with the stubby legs that you see right now. And a lot of people were talking about the stubby legs. Just very, very short. Proportionally looks awkward. Now, I know this form is proportionally awkward. It's meant to be that. But that being said, it's not this proportionately awkward. It's the legs are a little exaggerated here. I'm gonna, put up some stills from the anime, and you can see here that the legs are not that short. So he just looks very funny. Just looks a little too funny. Those legs need to be a little longer. The upper body is supposed to be ridiculously bulky, right? But the legs are not that short. So with that being said, that could be a deciding factor for some people, and I totally understand that. I would be lying if I told you I was not excited for this release. I am excited for the release. We're getting a transformed True Power Zarbon, which is awesome. I mean, I love that. I didn't think we would get that, and we have it. So, very cool. And he comes with a lot of cool different face plates. It's just very, very fun. But I would also be lying if I didn't tell you that this is a little disappointing because of how they made him so stubby and short like that. So I just wish they could have caught this before they released it. I mean, no one looked at it and said, man, this is a little off. I don't know what's up with that, but I could definitely see or foresee customizers out there making some longer legs for this guy. They've done it already for Cell. They've done it already for Frieza. And those figures, I didn't even really feel they really needed it that bad. They do improve them, but it wasn't this scenario here. So yeah, this one probably needs it. So we'll be on the lookout for stuff like that. Hopefully somebody makes a good one that's affordable and everyone can have one so they can add it to this and make it seem just a little bit better. So I'm not a big fan of doing that to my figures, but sometimes I will do it if it's necessary. So anyways, let's proceed. Now that we've gotten that out the way, overall the figure looks really, really cool in terms of the face sculpt and just the transformation being portrayed here. I mean, it's a nice bulky figure. He comes out of the package like this, so you can see the cape is missing. It is a separate piece. It is a hard piece, so if you don't like hard capes, you're not gonna like this because it's a hard cape. So it's not a soft goods cape. They've done both. They just opted to do a harder cape for this release. So let's go ahead and put this cape on him. Since it's supposed to be on him, that clicks in just like that, and I assume it's gonna be a little bit more back heavy now. Yep. So now you gotta kind of lean him forward. Now his ankles are very strong. Good ankle joints there. They're gonna hold the weight. I dig that quite a bit. There you go. Just looks so funny like that, huh? But there it is with the cape. Looks pretty dope. And now that he's got the cape, you can see the head sculpt that he comes with right now is a smiling face, right? He's smiling. He's evil. And we have some other faces. So speaking of smiling, we have this one right here, which is just so awesome. I love that. Very animated. We get even more animated here. Here's his evil laugh right there. And then last but not least, this one is super fun. Look at that with the tongue sculpted. He's startled. He's scared. He's getting attacked. He's getting hit by a blast. He's about to get hit by a blast. Whatever you want. He's got it right there with that face sculpt. Different ponytails too. We got one that's kind of turned over so he can go over his shoulder, and then one that's just straight down to just go straight down his back. In terms of hands, as you see, there's the two fists on his on the figure right now. Then we get these blasting hands right here. Then we get these grabby hands right here. Good paint on the nails. And then last but not least, these are another blasting hands here with the fingers spread apart right there. So that's good. That's all his accessories that he comes with. Good amount of hands and good amount of face plates there to do a lot of various different scenes and poses. I saw those two ponytails. The one that is kind of curved only goes to the side a little bit, so does not really go over his shoulder. He is articulated. He's got the points of articulation, right? But he's going to be a little hindered here and there, so he won't look up. He'll look down though, so that's good. In terms of turning his head, it's a little limited, but he can turn his head left and right. The neck is articulated too, so that helps out. These big sand shoulder pads are on a ball jointed hinge right there, so that's going to move around so it can allow his arms to extend. They go down. He's got a big shoulder socket there with the butterfly joint. You can see right there. So that socket moves his arm quite a bit. It's squeaky too, as you can hear. There's a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. There you go. At the arm, which has been pretty good. Right there. As for his torso, got the diaphragm joint at the torso right here, so he crunches forward quite a bit. He goes left and right, and he's got some tilting there. He does have a waist swivel too, and it crunches forward at the waist, so he can have a good crunch forward. And as for the legs will kick forward this far. Here's where it gets really funny, of course. About that far. It'll kick out about that much. We do get the thigh swivel, and then here's the double jointed knee. Look how crazy that looks. It's so janky looking. It's so weird, man, because it's so stubby, you know? Not a fan at all. It's there if you want to articulate it. Let's get that back into place. Ankles are on a hinge. They tilt. They have a toe hinge at the foot, and they also swivel. So there you go. I'm going to quickly cycle through these face sculpts one more time, attached to the body, just to see it, just to do it more justice. Very nice. This one's fantastic. Look at that. They just look so much better, of course, once you attach it to the figure. So, but yeah, look at that one. And then here's that last one that I like a lot too, with the tongue. Very, very cool. So here you have it. Here are the two Zarbon figures. We have the regular form and we have the transformed true power form right there. You can see how they almost stand pretty much the same height. Just shows you how short the true transformed version is, which again should be pretty short. He's not like a tall transformed version. He's not a tall creature. He's just meaty and buff, right? Which is what they try to do here. But when you try to compare these two legs, it's kind of crazy how this goes from this to that. So it's a little off. Like I said, I'm going to repeat myself and try not to, but he should be a little taller for sure. Here he is next to a Goku. This is a Kaioken powered up version of Goku. Alright, you guys, that's going to do it for my review of the Bandai Tamashii Nations S.H.Figuarts True Power Form Zarbon figure. It's a dream come true to see this. I love seeing these transformations. I love seeing these characters that don't really get a lot of love in other forms of, I guess, art, like action figures and toys and stuff like that. We don't really see this form. We never saw it from Irwin. We never saw it from Jack Pacific. We don't see it from statues. We don't see it in general. So I love that we are getting it here in this what I consider the best Dragon Ball Z action figure line of all time, S.H.Figuarts. So with that, it is nice to see him. I just wish he was properly, proportionally proper with his legs. That's the only gripe I really have. Just it's probably going to be everybody's gripe about the figure. And some people might not even mind it. I can live with it. It's not terrible, but if something comes out where I can modify the legs, I will do that because I think it deserves that much, especially when you look at screenshots of the anime. Then you look at this and it just seems ridiculous. So that's the only thing keeping this figure from being any greater than it already is. Definitely not the best figure of the line, but it's not the worst either, in my opinion. It could be better. So with that said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.